Hello, viewers. Today we have a 1995, manufactured 94, 95 Lasko 3733. You can see I already have the guards off. I started the service off camera. I wanted to do some experimenting with my dishwasher on these guards, and I ran them through. This is not a new science of using your dishwasher to wash guards. People have been doing this for years. I have a friend, a prominent YouTuber, who does this religiously, as he has a separate dishwasher just for the occasion. So I did this, and what I did was I turned off the heat dry, and I didn't want to warp these or damage them. Awesome. And on this channel, I've kind of shared my technique for cleaning guards. Works pretty well, right? But and you don't have to manually scrub each slat. It's not perfect for sure. Like there's still stuff on there. This is perfect. So I'm very happy with this. And the cool thing is I actually have two spare guards from a expired 3733 from the 90s that I have owned. To refresh everyone's memory, this is kind of a twin or similar to the one that I have already that I've owned since brand new since 1997. The one that I bought in 97, brand new, as just a wee 19-year-old, I bought two at the same time. The first one expired and I didn't know how to repair it. Really, I think what happened is the bearing dried out because of all the hours I had on it. I just didn't know what I was doing back then. So, but I was still in the fans. I just didn't know how to repair them. So that one I took off of it what I could reuse. And so I still have pieces of that working with the one that I still have today. So if something should happen to these guards, my point being is I have extra. These D blades, as we know, warp. And this one doesn't look bad. This unit I picked up at the 2025 fan meetup, Blow Me Away. This is a plug for the 2026 in June in Pennsylvania, Lehigh area. Look that up. So this one came from there, and when I picked it up, I thought, oh, I would like to have one of these because one I have is I've had probably thousands of hours on it, and it has new D blade or new old stock D blades on it because the original's warped out and turned yellow. I have painted it. I have restored the motor, but I wanted one in its original form, so this is it. What I learned is, and the videos on this channel, what I learned is they actually came in different sizes. This is slightly smaller than the one I have from 1997. Both are Laskos, not Air King, because Air King kind of sometimes, it was their kind of commercial or industrial arm of the Lasko products. So with these D blades, that being said, I have had mixed success with pulling them off. And the very first time I ever did it years ago, I actually cracked the plastic piece that slides over the hub, right? So basically almost rendering it useless. Actually, someone did find a use for that, and it is being used today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove these blades, we're gonna clean them, we're gonna clean the cabinet. And the other lesson I took away from some recent joint fan restoration, not restoration, but really servicing and cleaning projects, is the melamine foam. So we're going to use melamine foam on this cabinet, on these blades, and we're going to pull the motor apart and oil it. I don't know the history of this fan. It still has the silly auction tag on it from last summer. I can't believe that was, as of this recording, getting close to 6 months ago. We still talk about it quite a bit around here. I also apologize for the poor lighting. Kind of where I do a lot of my recordings at this point in time, kind of occupied right now. We have a tenant here. I still want to be filming in a central location. I'm in the garage, obviously, and I need to continue working on my lighting in here. At some point in the basement, when we get that set up, we're going to have a better bench to do recording and whatnot. So thank you for that. Okay, so what we're going to do is first we're going to try to pop these blades off, and I'm going to probably make a fool out of myself. Sometimes I do. Actually, most of the time I do. And we're going to see what we can do here. Oh yeah, you're not fun. Oh boy. always, no matter if you're successful or not pulling blades off, I'm going to do this on the ground. So we're going to be right behind you. Uh, whether you're successful or not, my suggestion and requirement really is do not try to wiggle it off, because that is how you will crack the plastic behind it. You need to work it straight up. And the reason why I'm on the ground is I want to use the weight of my body, my knees, which this doesn't feel good, on the cabinet itself, so I can pull up. And a recommendation, and I'm about to do it, is get an old towel to put under your knees, because it is not comfortable putting your knees on the edges of this cabinet or your shins. There we go. There you have it. So what I did was, I don't advise it, is I was using my knees on this thing and I wasn't able to get positioned comfortably. So I actually stood on the cabinet and I did it in a way that was even so I wouldn't bend it. So let's take a look. The end of this shaft has some mess on it. I don't have a drill press, and what I have learned, you might have seen on other channels, is really nice when you can take the shells off, take the shaft out, and then stick it in a drill press, and then use polish and cleaner to really shine it up and clean it nice. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to use the fan as kind of like the drill press, if you will, right? So we'll turn the fan on, we'll get some sandpaper, and just try to get that stuff off. All right, so let me get an extension cord. You know, sometimes I do a decent job before these videos in terms of preparing for the actual video. Other times, I don't. I should have gotten the cord out first. A lot of times I'm rooting through my tools during the video. So a little homemade project, this extension cord that you might see on camera here, this was not an extension cord when it came into existence. It was a one of those holiday like spike floodlights that you put in your yard. Well, the fixture got trashed and I couldn't, it was beyond repair. And I try not to waste anything within reason. So what I did was I just cut off the fixture and just put a plug on the end of it. And now we have a short extension cord. All right. Yeah, it's coming off. Yeah, already it's looking better. Ooh, I don't like the sound of that. Can you hear that? What? Oh yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, if I had a drill press, this would be a little bit easier, but this is way better. There was some gunk on that thing. I got it off. Let me just hit it one more time. All right, we're good. So next, oh man, this thing is filthy. This just has hours on it. what I'm going to do, I don't have a utility sink out here, and I don't feel like dealing with the hose because it's 35 degrees outside. I am going to get my melamine foam out. Brand new package. So I've seen this stuff on video, and recently I've seen it work in real life. It is amazing. Really what it is it's the magic eraser, Mr. Clean, I think. And but if you get any off-brand, you can buy, like I bought a packet, I don't know how many are in here. It was so cheap. There are, I don't know, something like 50 in here. No, 100 pieces. It says Magic Sponge Eraser. My brand is Smilepo. I'll show you. Smilepo. No, simple. No, Smilepo. The best helper for your housework, multi-service cleaner, and just add water. No chemicals can be cut. All right, so what we're going to go do is just run this under the sink. Because I am wearing a microphone, I can still speak with you while we walk off camera. And I guess the question is there could be dead camera, but there doesn't need to be totally dead air because I can still chat with you. So we're gonna try the blades first. All right. So this is the first time I've really personally have worked with this, but yeah, I mean, this stuff is just coming right off. And for those of you guys who watch the videos here, I want to thank you very much. If you haven't already, please like this video. But you probably have seen in my other videos that I do put wax on the blades, on the plastics where I can, and then the cabinet to try to, block against the rust. And this just may be the car guy in me and the silliness, but I am not an engineer. But sometimes I feel like if you have a thin coat of wax on the blades, it just makes the air slide off it that much better. I don't know if that has any bearing on it whatsoever. Paper towels out here, yeah, because I put too much water on this, so I'm gonna just paper towel them off before, if we flip it over. You can see everything that came off. No chemicals, no soap, no. As I've documented on this channel, I've used Meyer's multi-surface cleaner, which I like because it's very gentle. I've used Simple Green on guards, but for today, I'm not using anything. I mean, I guess technically I used the dishwasher soap for the guards, but that also was not today. Yeah, there's some imperfection on this. This fan won't get used this won't get tons of hours on it. I just wanted a decent unit to add to the collection that's basically as is. Yeah, look at these blades. They're showing warpage. They're like almost bubbling. They're not yellowed though. I guess it's just whatever material they use to make these D blades, just inferior. It's a shame because I think these blades are so much better looking than what they have on those ugly, like I can show you. Can you see that? I mean, come on. These are way better. They actually look substantial than that trash that they put. I mean, these won't even fit on that because the shaft size. By the way, that 3733 that's up in the mounted up there, I do like having a garage fan, whether it's in the summer, you're moving the air around, or the projects that we get going in here. Not that they all have like VOCs or anything, but when you start changing oils on lawnmowers and like filling gas in a can to clean a spark plug, it does, it does, you know, but it does kind of get, you know, not unbearable, but it's probably not good for you either. So in the other location, you're still on the shelf next to my old stereo, which I have to get. I have a Toastmaster that's been there since I put the shelf up in 2011. I have not taken that Toastmaster down to service it. I keep it plugged into a power strip on low, and I just flip it on when I'm working in there to turn the radio on and turn the fan on. I told Eddie, I was like I'm going to take the stereo at some point. Need some TLC, but I'm going to leave the fan because I feel like the fan belongs on that shelf because it's been there for over a decade and not touched. So we'll see if he ends up pulling it down and servicing it. What's really cool for those of you who've seen Eddie on the channel, he's 13 years old, and he lives over there most of the time, but he also lives here. And it's really cool. Sometimes I stop over and I'll go into the garage, and there'll be a couple of fans apart. And I don't make a big deal of it because I want him to do his thing. And he'll say to me, "Hey, Dad, I was servicing some fans during the week after school." It's just awesome. As a dad, if you have the good fortune to become a dad or mom, um, those are just things that like warm your heart. And I don't. He probably hates me talking about him like this. Has some jagged edges. I don't force him into the hobby. I just kind of exposed him to it, and then what's neat is he kind of is developing his own tastes, right? So melamine foam can come apart. He's developing his own tastes. What I mean by that is like he's not copying dad. Like you guys know, I love McGraw Edison. I love box fans. He kind of got into the vintage tabletop fans, like the really old ones. He will look for them, and so that's his thing. And then he also has really taken a liking to 50s and 60s box fans. It's kind of like the bigger and the heavier and the more metal he loves. And that was kind of that's way before my time. And what's cool about that is he's educated me on them, and to the point where there's we were making some videos. I think it was last weekend, maybe the weekend before. We were making some videos on his old fans, and I said to him, I think I'm going to be. He had a Dominion box fan. Those things, I've seen them, and I kind of knew what they were, but like didn't totally know what they were because I never really worked with one or saw one in real life, probably, or like up close anyway. And I really like those Dominion box fans. Oh man, after working with his in the videos, so awesome, and his is in really good condition. So I'll be on the lookout if I come across one at Marketplace. If I come across one at Marketplace, or this is pretty good, or at a fan meetup, especially at a fan meetup because you can tie it to a memory or an experience. All right, so that's good. Okay. So it's cool to learn from your son, and it really is. I mean, I learn from you guys all the time, which is why I kind of it's put the hobby on kind of like steroids for me because I always enjoyed the hobby, but now that I can, instead of getting stuck on something, you can call up a buddy, email a buddy, or do a video and just ask, has anyone else seen this? So the melamine foam works well on the cords. This cord is just disgusting. Actually, cord's in okay shape, but it's just dirty. I'm kind of doing this backwards. I tend to clean the pieces after I get everything apart and get everything done, but I knew there'd be drying time involved. All right. So let's remove this. This is gross. All right. We're really going to get into it now. Probably need more melamine foam when I get to the cabinet. I was wondering if I had to get the compressed air out. These windings look like they're actually the windings look really good, but we want to oil this motor. So we're gonna have to pop off the shells. And then I might hit the windings with some spray on varnish. I am trying to improve my varnishing skills. So that's probably where the comments aren't going to be kind to me. That's okay. I am learning. I should probably take a busted modern 3733 and practice varnishing on that. I was with Jordan Yu, and I've seen him varnish windings on videos, but I was with him in person and watched him do it. And I guess it's one of those things, like I've seen him do it on video, and then I went and did it, and I was like, why did that seem so messy? And was it was a bad job. But then when you're with somebody doing it after you actually do it, then you're like, I think I see what I did wrong. I'm gonna try it again. So what I did was I was taking the spray paint approach where you kind of fog it on, so you don't get overspray. Well, when he did it, he sprayed very close to the winding, and that seemed to be the way to go. All right, so we're just gonna pull this off carefully, or I'm trying to pull it off carefully. Oh, so what is it stuck on? Am I gonna have to pull the whole thing off the cabinet? Yes, I am. Okay. I thought I could pop it off, but so after this project, I want to go outside. It's November 14th, and I want to go outside, and this is the first fall at this property. And unlike my previous property, this does not get destroyed with leaves the way that one did. So like my leaves are all down where I sit, and I really don't have much, but I do have some scrub pines around the property, which I can't stand. Two in which I cut down. That was a video as well. I didn't personally cut them down. And so I have some neat pine needles that I want to use my backpack leaf blower to just get them the heck out of the way. All right. Why are you being stubborn? Just don't want anything to break. So this is interesting. The shaft is stuck in the bearing that goes back in. There we go. There. Okay. There we go. Yeah, not horrible in here. So there's the wicking material. I'm going to show you guys yeah, that's nice that we smooth that side out. You can probably just do a little not waxing, sandpaper there. I want to show you the wick material. So modern fans, well, this is not a modern fan. By the 90s, unless you were Lakewood, still in the 90s, Lakewood was doing oil ports. What they did from the manufacturer is they have these felt pieces of material in there. Sorry about the shadow. You see that. And what happens is they have oil. They are pre-oiled or oiled, manufacturer oiled, whatever you want to call it. And for the life of the fan, that's supposed to be adequate oil. Well, that's not. Eventually, these things dry up, and if they really dry up, these things kind of just not dry rot, but they disintegrate and turn into nothing, and you kind of have to put your own felt in there, which is a hassle. Um, so I'm looking at these windings, and I don't think I need to use compressed air. I do have a toothbrush, and you can carefully. You don't want to bust a winding because that is one part in my fan restoration game I have yet to do, and I don't want to start doing it today. Where'd my toothbrush go? I kept it in this cabinet. I think Eddie took it. To work on a fan or something. Does he have it over by his behind camera here? And you might have seen it if you follow us. Eddie has a 1960s 3.5 horsepower Briggs and Stratton, like in pieces over here that he's restoring. And oh, come on, it's all these parts. I know I lent him my tooth. Obviously, it's not the toothbrush I use. Found it. Nope, that's a wire brush. That would be catastrophic. We have a wire brush that looks like a toothbrush over here. Oh, bummer. All right, maybe it's up here. See, if I was a proper YouTuber, if there's such a thing, I would have laid out all my tools before making this video, or I'd become an edit master and edit all this stuff out. But we're not. These are long form videos and really depicts kind of the reality of if you're doing this. And the cool thing about you, the viewer, is you have the ability to fast forward. All right. Not bad. I got some Q-tips actually over here. Because I think I'm going to shoot some varnish on this, but I don't want to be shooting varnish on top of dirt. Ooh, what's that? Oh, that's just dirt. I thought there was a busted wire. So while I was working in here last weekend with Eddie, was probably working on another fan project and or video. A chipmunk ran through the perimeter of the garage from the door. The door was open. Ran around the perimeter, went to the tractor, which is that way. Went under the tractor. I kind of went. He noticed it. I didn't see anything, so I went over there, and I came out and ran behind me. There's cabinets over there, which you probably can see, and then there's this tiny little hole in the wall that leads like back outside, like under the deck for the sunroom. And I was like, I'll be darned. So I took dryer sheets and shoved them in there because clearly he's using it as a like a cut through to get back outside. And I typically, so the lighting that's on in here is just one of those, yes, dare I say it, one of those like DELs that, yes, I mean LED. That's, I can maybe show it to you. It's not just a bulb, it's like one of those garage ones that you screw in. It's pretty big. So I leave that on while I'm not in the garage, just 24/7. This house is solar powered, so I'm not really worried about that. And then the other part is I leave a radio on because I know, like, it's not so much chipmunks I'm worried about. I was actually surprised to see a chipmunk come in like that, but it's mice that I don't like more so. And I have so far I haven't really seen any evidence of that. But I keep dryer sheets, like I stuff that little crack with dryer sheets because I know they don't like them. And then I also, yeah, like I said, keep the radio on, the dryer sheets. And the other thing too is in the old location, I had this lamp style heater on a pedestal, which in a previous video I've shown that before. That has the little metal bar in the front. It's a safety bar. If the thing falls forward, it doesn't like land flush on the ground. I've hung a dryer sheet over there. It makes the garage smell like clean laundry. And I know they hate that smell. So the last location, I definitely made it so you would not see them around. All right. We should be good here. I don't know if I'm going to deal with if I'm going to try to deal with spraying. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Do you guys think I should spray? Now I'm probably blocking your view, but I'm trying to. See, I can't get that shell off the back here. It's not cooperating. What do we do? There it goes. Now you want to cooperate. I'm just trying to be very careful. Here we go. All right, we got it off. So if I, all right, I'm going to do it because I'm going to practice. Constructive criticism only, please. Okay, so for varnish, I've learned from following others. So I use spray on. So this is red. So I made the mistake of buying red varnishing, insulating varnish. So it's just red. I've been with others that I guess it comes in clear, if you will. So when this sprays on, it's going to spray red. I have seen red windings before with red insulation, so I'm not worried about it. All right. It's going to smell bad in here as I insulate the camera. Okay. Whew. Okay, that smells. So we have to let that dry and then flip it over. All right. So hopefully you kind of saw what I did. So I did a better job than I did on the the last fan I did, because the last fan I did, like I said, I started out here somewhere. Except, I was thinking of like it was like spray paint, and I'm like coating everything. All right, so I'm just gonna wipe out the inner of the shell and the outside of the shell. Oh man, I got to turn on. So I'm gonna turn on that 3733 up here. Whew, my gosh. So what you could do, and I didn't, is you can, if you can pull the switch out and everything, you can actually take the stator and everything and just pull that aside and then wipe the cabinet down. I didn't do that, and I forget if these are a pain. And I found sometimes with these older fans, to pop the switch back in, there's tabs, and the tabs just give away, like the McGraw Edisons. Oh boy, man, I have struggled with those, and I've broken so many of those putting them back in, that when I've done a fan restoration, I leave it all there. It's actually easier and less aggravating to um, to actually tape up, mask off the wiring and the front of the motor, like the front shell and everything like that, or the rear shell, I guess, and tape it all off before you, and just paint the cabinet that way. I one time shipped a McGraw Edison motor to somebody because they were gonna, what he was gonna do. I was having a problem with this squealing sound, and no matter what, leaf blower, no matter what, I couldn't get it to go. So he's like, oh, it'd be cheaper if you just send me the motor. No, it ended up being worse because I broke the how the switch mounts into the fan. So I would have paid $50 to ship it versus break something that's not replaceable. All right, so we're going to let this dry, and then we'll come back. Okay, since we were together, I took a break while those windings, the varnish dried, and while off camera, shortly after I paused the camera, I actually did flip it over and do both sides, so we should be good to go now. And let's just air this out. Took a break, and my break was blowing the leaves in the entire yard. In fact, let's cancel that out. There's a little breeze coming in that way. I have a backpack leaf blower, pretty much commercial grade, and I've owned it now for almost 10 years, and it makes leaf blowing, I don't want to say enjoyable, but it makes it much easier. And this is the first fall that I've been at this property, being that we moved in April. So it's the first time doing leaves, and this property gets no leaves compared to the other location. And I have a sneaky suspicion I'm going to be roped in this weekend to help out over there. Although I was told I didn't need to, and Eddie has got it. They want to borrow the riding lawnmower, so I'll probably connect up the trailer and do that. Okay, back to this. So while we have this all apart, I am going to put some Zoom Spout, and for those of you who've seen fan videos like this before, you know the drill. But for those of you who don't, you want to use a non-detergent oil when it comes to your fans, right? The WD-40s of the world, that will destroy your fan. You can use a 3-in-1 oil, but I believe you want to make sure it's the blue can. And how you can tell, if you look at the back, and they do a good job putting some pictures of examples of where you can use it. And I do think there is an image of a fan on the back. I have been using Zoom Spout mainly because I like the long tube, and quite frankly, I have, I think, two of these. One's at the other location because Eddie works on fans as well. And I mean, you can see how much I've used over the years. Not much, right? So the stuff lasts. So we're going to do a couple things here. We're going to get it into the felt, if you will. Oh, good, it's absorbing it. Very nice. Maybe I should bring you closer. You probably can't see. So let me just, I'll do the second one with you. And then I'm going to put some actually in the bearing. Okay, let's see what you can see. Are you in the frame? Kind of, not really. Yeah, see the felts there? The opening? That's what I just did. And this one will do the same. Now, I have heard of the theory of you could make your own oil port by drilling a hole on the outside in. I've never done that, nor have I actually seen anyone do it, but I've heard people talk about it. So I'm going to get some on the edges here so it goes in. I'm going to hit it again. I don't think this was ever oiled. And you don't have to do this every year. If you're running a fan like this, probably, if you're running it hard, like you're using it almost every day in the summer, I would say maybe every other year, every 3 years, you would want to oil it. If you are just enjoying this fan as a vintage fan, have it out for a few days, maybe a few weeks, use it sparingly, put it away, it could probably be years before you need to oil it. Wow, this is just really taking, it's just soaking up everything I'm putting on it. That's what leads me to believe this was never oiled before. We'll inspect this. So the back side here, actually it's pretty smooth, feels pretty good. Not bad, not bad at all. And I have a couple of spare, shafts or rotors there, whatever you want to call it. I got some dust in the this back shell here I have to deal with. Still absorbing it. Okay. This one looks like we might be pretty good here. Yeah, that one's good. This one, which would be the rear of the motor, keeps wanting to take more. So we'll keep doing it. Really, with these motors, kind of really what does them in is they dry up. Now, Lasko, I feel the modern 3733s, or at least over the last 10, 15 years or so, come really well oiled from the factory. Like I really don't have an issue with the level of oil. You can really get on their case about the quality of the rest of the fan for sure. I am one of those people. But when it comes to actually lubricating the bearings, they do a good job. And oh man, I didn't clean the back of this motor. Stupid. Or the back of this shell. Well, no time like the present. Should just get that foam. Still should be damp. Normally I clean this before I do any of the oiling, but we just got involved with it here. Okay, not bad. Okay, we should be good to go. So if you go back in time, so these things here, I've found from experience, I've had a number of these back in the 90s. My very first one was an Eastern Electric branded one in 1995. I didn't know anything about oiling motors then. I ran it hard every summer. It just ran and ran in my bedroom for years. And I got about 5 years out of it before it locked up. I feel that's not bad, right? For like something with a lot of hours on it. But if you go back to the 80s when they had the plastic motors, I felt as much as I love those fans, those big full cabinet fans, oh, they were horrible in terms of drying up. They would dry up the quickest. So I think as time went on, they figured out how to semi-permanent, it won't never say permanent, but semi-permanent lubricate these things. I also want to give myself some props to those windings. I think that came out really nice. Much better than if you saw my other video, the messy mess that came to be. That came out really nice. I'm very pleased with that. And that'll just protect it. As I said, keeping these oiled, which no one goes to this trouble except people like us, and to go the extra mile. So what'll happen is with the windings is they have insulation on them, right? And as the motors vibrate over time and hours, what then can happen is the insulation wears off and then you get an arc or something like that, and it burns out the winding. And you can have it rewound. I have yet to learn that. I've yet to see someone do it. I've looked not too hard on YouTube to find somebody who actually does it, because I wouldn't mind learning how to do that, because I feel like my game for fans really is what I need to still learn is I need to learn how to solder, because I need to learn how to repair an inline fuse properly. And also, if I need to replace an electrical cord, I have the ability to use the shrink tubing or whatever you call that, and make it look like, oh, that's almost too much oil. Make it look like it's a factory job. So I have those are like kind of like the two next things I really would like to learn, and I'm hoping I don't have to learn. Although I do have for the inline fuse, I do have two fans that can be guinea pigs. I have a burnt out Lasko that's in pristine condition otherwise, and then I also have a Polonus that's in pieces that's been video documented on this channel. Okay, I think we're pretty good with the oil, because I think I'm starting to get to the point where we have more than what we need. All right, so we're going to start putting this back together. So we know that is the back. So maybe what we want to do is do it like this. Do it properly. Seems like it's twisted. This does seem like it got twisted somehow. There we go. So the thing you'll have to do here is line up the holes, which looks like we're about there. Okay. And you just want to be gentle. The thing with this is you just want to take your time. Make sure you do it right. Okay. I'm more concerned. Okay, I think I got the holes lined up. Now we want to slide this in. not lined up properly. There we go. Okay, I think I have the holes lined up. All right, so I have everything lined up. I just paused it for a second while I had, so what I did not realize is, so this manufacturing standpoint, the wiring comes in through kind of like this plastic plug on the other side like that. It's at the top. So I said to myself, if I just line those up, it might work better. So that's what we did. So we're gonna fasten this. You don't have to crush it. I'll do this side now a little bit. And as I said, you know, you just be patient with this stuff. When I was younger, I tended to be a little more aggressive. I also had a tendency of over tightening things because I could. And I realized not everything needs to be like crushed. So, all right. Okay. So the other thing you want to do, you want to kind of give it a few whacks there to line it up. There we go. See? Now what I would like to do, oh man, that spins nice. Okay, so we're gonna, I thought about just turning it on now, but I'll put it back actually physically in the cabinet first. Can't see what I'm doing. Now you definitely can't see what I'm doing. Oh boy, hang on. Okay, I think you can see what I'm doing now. Now I can't see what I'm doing. So we want to line these up. Yeah, just do a little more wiping on that motor once we get it together here. Okay. Everything should be lined up now. Yep. I also feel when you take the time to do this, it kind of means a little more to your collection, you know, because it's kind of like a job well done when everything goes correctly. Yeah, that's good. And to me, that makes me proud. All right, let's, again, I'm sorry about the lighting. Let me open this door back up. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, it's better. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Let's just do a little testy test. I don't know if you guys hear that hiss sound. That. You know, it was doing that before I took it apart as well. So it sounds like it's the rotor in there. I can't remember if I've heard these model fans do that before or not. Okay, so that part's done. So let's get a fresh melamine foam, and I'm gonna maybe we get two pieces. We get one. Start with one, and I'm gonna moisten it. We'll go inside. Today it's 3 o'clock, and it's like it's dark out already. All right, so let's clean this up. So I'm gonna back you off. Oops, I don't know why I left the door open. It's only 44 degrees outside. This takes this gunk right the heck off. It's just awesome. It's like it's like coming apart in my hands. I probably put a little too much water on it. I mean, but this truly is a great product. And this channel doesn't get endorsed or anything by any products at this point in time. But this would be one that I would, or products similar to it, I would actually endorse it because it is a game change type product. And I've seen it show up in other videos, and I thought I got to give it a shot. And I think I said earlier in this video, I got to see it like firsthand in person, and I was like, whoa. I mean, I can't do it justice on camera with how well this cabinet looks. And then I'm going to throw a coat of wax on it. I mean, it's just going to be incredible. Yeah, I don't know what is used in this, but it says no chemicals. And it's not coarse like sandpaper. It's not like it's sanding it down or anything. I mean, really, really great. Really great product. Yeah, just take the, you know. So sometimes when I'm cleaning these and I use like spray cleaner, I can't get quite everything off, and then I end up waxing over whatever it is, so it kind of like encases it. But this is going to be great. So when I wax it, I'm really waxing a completed fan, and like it, like almost unyellows these handles. So we already melamine foamed the blades. The guards went through the dishwasher. All right, so the inside here is not going to be as illustrious here because, oh man, because there's some rust and there's hair. Ooh, gross. But we're going to do our best. Yeah, look at that. Very good. Okay, let's get the back side here, and then we'll start assembly. Let's back this motor. I should have done a better job when I had the shell off, but we can. It's at the end of the world here. I mean, really, we're at the point where it's just cosmetics with this thing. I mean, look at that. It restores the cord. I mean, it's really awesome. It's cool to find a product that really makes a difference in the job that you're working on. I got to say, I had a very busy work week, and yesterday I put in 13 hours, and it's just nice to like work on your hobbies. All right, we have just this kind of wet in there. Normally I don't care, but well, I do care, but I want to. Oh man, I want to put a coat of wax in, and even though there's some light rust down here, I'm going to put some wax here. I know most don't do it. I think I'm the only channel I see really actually put wax on these fans. All right, where is the? I'm going to clean this thing. It's just like the little. I don't know what you call it. Kind of like a conduit. I was recently working on another fan, a liquid P25, and these things, it just disintegrated in my hand. So I had to use, I didn't have any zip ties on hand so I think I used a piece of masking tape, which is a little ghetto, but all right. All right, let's get the wax out, and then we can focus on Once we do a quick wax job, we will reassemble. So what I do, I've talked about it in other videos. I use turtle wax. Like I use turtle wax. Yeah, turtle wax I think is has a good quality enough that you can use it on your vehicle, no problem. I mean, that's what it's really designed for. I use McGuire's on my vehicles. I just really enjoy their products. But I keep a thing of turtle wax because McGuire's a little more expensive. So I keep a thing of turtle wax because I also wax my lawnmowers, the cutting decks on the riding lawnmower. I hit the plastics, and I even do the plastics on the push mowers, like the shrouds on top, the bars, the handlebars, and all that, because I feel it protects it from the sun, and just how I am. So, just good old turtle wax. We'll do the cabinet. You don't need too much. You just need enough to get it. Just a thin coat. What I like is with the melamine foam and the combination of wax, the cabinet almost feels new. All right. Oh. All right, so we'll just hit the struts, whatever you want to call these, the supports, struts. Okay. Oh man. Not exactly wax on, waxing off here. Try to buff, right? The other thing too, and I pointed out this out in other videos, other just general fan videos, that I have fans here that have rusted. I pointed out that there's a lot of humidity in the air around here, and I'm also hoping this light coat of wax prevents that humidity from just sitting on these cabinets. All right. We will go the bottom of the cabinet in a moment. Man, I'm all sneezing and clearing my throat. No, I feel fine actually. Although I was just out there leaf blowing and there's like stuff hitting me in the face. And I also like to do this. Just get it. I get the perimeter of this side. Okay. This obviously won't like make the rust go away or anything like that, but it will certainly, hopefully, prevent it from getting worse. At least that's what I've seen. It prevents it. One would argue that it would trap it in there, but I haven't seen a fan that I've waxed in a situation like this. I haven't seen it get worse. And this is borderline for me. It's borderline like, hey, do we do something about this? But I still want to keep this original. And that was one of the reasons I bought it, because mine is not original. All right, so we're just going to hit the bottom. So I hear a UPS truck or something out there. I don't think it's stopping, but I did order a Lasko Cool Colors black. Now, I really wasn't going to. It's not something I desire, but I got to say, the viewers keep looking at the Cool Colors videos that we posted last year, and I have both of the blues and the purple. So I thought I would, since the black one's still available, not the black 3733, because there is a black 3733, that I would grab it because they seem to make them for a little bit and discontinue them. So that should be coming soon. And I'll be curious if that video does as well as the ones that I already have out there that continue to do well. For example, over 12,000 of you watched one of the Cool Colors videos. And what I find fascinating about that is, yeah, they're neat. They're neat. It's cool that they did that, so to speak. But the other thing to point out is, it's a modern fan, and we do so many vintage fans on this channel that they may get far less views. And it makes me wonder if, and I've said this before, if people are looking at it just for product comparison, like, oh, should I get a Cool Colors one? Should I get the Lasko Pro Power Plus? All right, so we are just putting a simple coat of wax on these D blades. As much as I love these D blades, just love this style. They are also kind of a weak point in these fans because they warp so darn easily, as I talked about earlier in this video. And you can see that shows up on the, yeah, that shows up. See that? So this fan will get used, but it won't get, it'll be more of a, actually it may not get used that often. Just because I have so many fans, and while I like this fan, I probably will use my original 97 before I would pull this one out. But I just wanted another example, and quite frankly, anytime I see one of these, and it's not that often, because I won't go buy one on eBay or something, but if I see one locally on Marketplace or at a fan meet, and it's a few bucks, I grab it. These were good fans in their day. Still good fans. Was throat clearing. I think I said earlier I worked like 13 hours yesterday, whatever it was. I was doing a lot of talking, so that could be part of this. So it might have gotten a little darker in here because the tenant pulled into the driveway, and I just wanted to keep moving here. Okay, there you have it. This all looks really good. Really, really does. Let me see if I can do something with the light again. There we go. Okay. Before I mess with the blades, I am going to just get these wires situated. So I think that just sits back in the cabinet like that. This comes down here. I don't think we do anything really fancy here. These things break so easily. Get the one side to snap. I get a snap on. All right. It snapped on. How about that? I thought for sure it was going to tell me it was done with life. So this is just so this is rust on the front of this motor here. That is not dirt at this point. All right. Oh, that's not good. One of the other few things at the other location I still have to get over here is my actual workbench. I am working on a set of sawhorses. Okay. All right. Okay, so this motor, the shaft has a flat spot. So, I really need a drink of water. I just want to zoom in on those windings. I mean, look how nice that came out. That's awesome. I'm so happy with that. All right. Let me just get a drink. I'm not going to pause you. I lost my drink. Oh, here it is. Okay, that should help. All right, normally I turn this, well, flat part I have facing the top, so I'm coming at you from the side here, so I just got to make sure I'm aligned. Someone once said the flat part lines up with that little circle there, and it seems to. Yeah. All right, I think we're on. Are we? There we go. Now we're on. Okay, let's get the guard on. I noticed when I acquired this fan that the guards were on backwards. Okay, so this is a viewer disclaimer. I'm using a hand screwdriver, and this takes more than a minute to do. So if it's too slow for you, it is okay to fast forward. I have heard in the comments, and I say this like in every video, that I should have a power screwdriver. Well, I have one, but it's not charged. And it's actually not even mine. Technically, it's Eddie's. I'm just trying to look for the screws now. What did I do with the screws? I put them. Ah, here they are. I put them over by the toolbox. So what I did was, this is kind of funny. I was at my desk here working. I had a little break. I put the fan on my lap, and after I got a screwdriver, and I just took the guard off with the fan on my lap because I wanted to throw them in the dishwasher because I knew I was going to do this video. So I did that a couple days ago because the dishwasher was empty. All right, so I talk about this in other videos. We like to do kind of opposites when we put this on. Ooh, this one's way off. It just drives me crazy, some of the quality stuff. Like, this is not even close. All right, let's go up here. This one lines up. I'm hoping they start to come together as I. Whoops, I bumped the tripod. Sorry about all the sniffling. Well, this plastic is in really good shape. It just shows you the quality. Even back then, it was kind of off because like you have to like sometimes put these screws in almost at an angle to get it to kind of get in place. Now, again, I did put these in the dishwasher, but I didn't use like the high heat on them. Okay, that one's on. So let's go up top. I said this before, but talked offline about it, talked online about it. If somebody out there has the ability to 3D print guards, hit me up in the comments or go to this channel's homepage and email me. My email address is there, and the email address is there if you want to reach out to me anyway. But I have a couple fans that are in dire need of guards. This, especially a 200i. All right. I'm being silent because I hear talking inside. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. All right, so I put the back of the guard on off camera because I couldn't find two screws. And I knew in my desk drawer I had a couple more that would fit. I don't know if they went to another fan or what. Let me just, of course, that being said, maybe I didn't look too closely over here. Nope, they're not there. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what happens. Looks awesome. I mean, it looks incredible. The blade's out of balance, but it's typical. And you saw the spots on the blade. I'm not gonna get bent out of shape with that. And this might be one of those examples that really the medium is not really working well. It's like, look, there you have it. Throws off pretty good air. I can smell the varnish. let's do this. And that's really as good as it's going to get for spin down on these. This is not a Lakewood. So if you haven't, comment, like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. And we'll see you on the next one.